Welcome to the Film Ticket with Daniel and Kazak. We talk only films. No gossip, no drama, no bullshit. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 6th installment of the Film Ticket. Today, we were supposed to have an interview with the great David O'Shields. However, due to some date mix-up and some conflicts that we could not foresee, he actually had to cancel on us, so we will be doing that interview next week. But today, we have a different treat for you. So coming up this Sunday will be the 90th Oscar Awards. And in preparation for these Oscars, we have gone ahead and we are going to do a little friendly competition here within the crew of the Film Ticket. We are going to discuss who we think is going to win, and the winner gets insane bragging rights at the end of this.
And the loser, person who doesn't get the most predictions correct for who will win which category, will have to watch a terrible movie of the other three people's choice.
Ooh, I was going to go buy everybody Cold Stone, but I really like this idea.
Yeah, that's intense. Just think, we're making, foreshadowing here, we're making, you sit down and watch Troll 2.
Please, no. Please, no.
Wait.
No.
All right.
Let's get into the fun, shall we? Kazak, please start us off.
All right, so we're just going to go over some of the categories that are more known, not to attack, the short documentaries, short animated films, foreign films. Those are all great. Those are all great. Those are all great categories, and there's a lot of work put into them. But, we're just not really familiar with them, so we don't want to subject our stupid guesses to some great art. So we're just going to go over the ones, that everybody's aware of. So we're going to start off with the Best Picture. What's nominated is Call Me By Your Name, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, Get Out, Lady Bird, Phantom Thread, The Post, Shape of Water, and 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. All right, so I got Call Me By Your Name. Daniel, who do you got?
I have Get Out.
All right, David?
Also Get Out.
And Becca, who is currently not here right now because she's out sick today, has The Shape of Water picked for Best Picture.
Really, I thought all these movies could actually get the win because they were all really good. I just thought Get Out was more of the most substantial film that came out. It was the one of the most talked about.
All right, so yeah, thanks for your thoughts on that. I think you're right. All these films seem pretty much on the same wave there. All right, so now we're going to move to lead actor. I got Timothée Chalamet for Call Me By Your Name. Daniel, who do you got?
I have Daniel Day-Lewis for Phantom Thread.
All right, David?
I believe I picked Denzel Washington, Roman J. Israel-esque.
All right, and then Becca picked Daniel Kaluuya from Get Out. So Becca, I think, picked Daniel Kaluuya because I think she saw that this movie, he does a really good job of, acting kind of timid for him being an African-American going to a white family, and I think he does a good job of that, so I think that's why Becca picked Daniel Kaluuya.
And, all these actors, in every film, that's the problem with lead actor because everyone could win. Everyone's on that same echelon, and I picked Daniel Day-Lewis because it's Daniel Day-Lewis. He already has 3, and it seems like every role he takes on, he's in consideration or almost the top spot for the lead actor.
All right, so now?
I picked Denzel Washington because I love Denzel Washington. Like, I actually haven't seen the film that he's in, but I really like Denzel.
Don't need to keep this in. All right, so next one, we're going to lead actress. I've got, I always butcher her name, Saoirse Ronan. How do you say her name? All right, so yeah, I got Saoirse Ronan for Lady Bird, one of my favorite movies of the year. How about you, Daniel?
Well, I picked Frances
McDormand.
I picked Frances McDormand for 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. I can't talk today, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so sorry. It's going to be a long day.
David, who do you have?
I believe I also chose Saoirse Ronan.
Oh, you've picked Frances McDormand.
Did I?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
That's great when you can't remember your nominations. That's
Right.
awesome. And then Becca picked Meryl Streep from The Post.
Going with Meryl Streep.
Which, come on, that's a solid pick right there.
That is always.
That's a solid pick right there.
All right, now we're going into supporting actor. I got Sam Rockwell for 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Daniel?
I have Richard Jenkins from The Shape of Water.
David?
I had Woody Harrelson from the 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri as well.
All right, and Becca also has Woody Harrelson out of 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Honestly, 3 Billboards is looking like it's going to sweep everything. They are in every single category and looking very good.
They have a dynamite cast.
They do,
They
yeah. All right. So next supporting actress, I've got Laurie Metcalf, Lady Bird.
I have Allison Janney from I, Tonya.
David.
I've got a Laurie Metcalf.
Say that again.
You've got Laurie Metcalf.
I've got Laurie Metcalf from Lady Bird.
And then Becca's got Octavia Spencer, a former Oscar winner for The Shape of Water.
What made her so big? What was the film?
It was The Help.
It was The Help. That's right.
That's right.
So for director, the one of the best categories in my opinion, I have Get Out, Jordan Peele.
I have Lady Bird, Greta Gerwig.
I also have Get Out by Jordan Peele.
All right. And Becca has Dunkirk, Christopher Nolan.
Honestly, amazing that Jordan Peele could go from something as
Sweet. Yeah, it's awesome.
amazing as
Key and
Keanu?
Peele.
he could go from
Oh,
something as great as
different
Key and Peele to doing something as critically acclaimed as Get Out. I mean, who really would have guessed that?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a fight between Jordan Peele and Greta Gerwig because they're both forefront leaders of Greta Gerwig in front of that ladies' revolution, woman revolution, great thing, and then Jordan Peele for that African American revolution.
Do you think Christopher Nolan stands a chance?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, and Paul Thomas Anderson's already won an Oscar. Guillermo del Toro has already won an Oscar. They don't need to give him another one.
No, they don't. All right, so for animated feature, Kasich.
We're at a deadlock here. We all picked Coco because, Loving Vincent was fine. Ferdinand, John Cena, great, whatever.
The Boss Baby was a ride.
Boss Baby, we've talked about that earlier. Views, we don't need to get back into that. The Breadwinner, we've never even seen it.
And Coco was amazing.
Yeah, Coco had stellar animation.
Aesthetically perfect.
Yep. All right. Now let's talk about animated short here. So, I'm sorry. No, we're not talking about animated short here. All right. So we're going to talk about next the adapted screenplay. So a lot of us picked the same one. All of us picked Disaster Artist, except there was one odd man out.
I picked Logan because it's a beautiful movie and I cried and I love it.
All right, whatever.
That was some detail. That was detailed.
I don't
love
want to
it.
go into too much because I
Alright.
feel like you should experience it for yourself.
All right. Next, we're going to original screenplay. Another kind of deadlock. Three of us picked Get Out, but somebody picked Shape of Water.
That would be me. I picked Shape of Water. I thought overall the story, okay, Get Out, the story was amazing. It was. But I felt that Shape of Water, the fact that the main character didn't talk made it even better. It made the writing substantial because it had to portray what this character was thinking without the ability to use words.
Right. And also, honestly, I could see this either going Lady Bird's way too, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri,
Yeah.
and Big Sick. They could go to
Honestly,
anybody.
They could all go.
Right. All right. So next we're going to cinematography. David, let's start with you. What did you have? Blade Runner.
Oh yeah, thank you. Sorry, my list doesn't have.
That's
oh,
okay.
there it is. There we go. Okay, I just found it. I had Blade Runner
All right.
2049.
Well, thank you for the entire title.
Of course.
Daniel.
I had, sorry, we have a paper here, The Shape of Water.
All right. And I and Becca had Dunkirk.
I guess the couple always has to vote for the same thing, now,
All
don't they?
right, whatever. Okay, so next we are going to Best Film Editing. I had Baby Driver, Daniel.
I had Dunkirk.
Baby Driver.
And Becca had The Shape of Water, so that's kind of an odd one out there. But yeah, Dunkirk I think is good for film editing. Baby Driver was too.
See, Baby Driver was so action-packed that it almost had to be perfect or else it wouldn't make sense.
But then why did you pick Dunkirk?
Because did you watch it? It was beautiful.
I did watch
It was
Dunkirk.
beautiful.
All right.
Flowed.
You know what else was beautiful? Baby Driver.
You know what else was beautiful? Logan.
Yeah.
Logan was beautiful.
Oh my God.
But you know what's even more beautiful? The Boss Baby.
You couldn't even say it with a straight face.
All right. Now we're going to the more more audio side of shut up of the more audio side of the films. So we're gonna start with sound editing. I got Dunkirk. Daniel, who do you got?
Oh, well, the three of us
That's right.
had you were the odd man out here by
Right.
picking Dunkirk, but myself, David, and Becca, we all had the Baby Driver.
All right.
Sorry, David, I took away your vote there.
No, that's okay. Just being silenced.
And then for sound mixing, we're all at different odds here.
I think this is the only one.
I think it is. I picked Shape of Water for sound mixing.
I picked Dunkirk, but I probably should have picked Baby Driver.
Too late.
'cause I love that
You
movie.
picked Dunkirk.
I
Shut up.
put Blade Runner 2049.
Becca picked Baby Driver, and none of us picked Star Wars.
Yeah, oh my
And we're,
gosh.
like,
what
huge
did I
Star Wars
do?
fans.
We all love it, but come on.
All
Let's
right.
just be real.
Next one for production design, Deadlock. We all got picked Dunkirk.
How do you not, though?
Yeah, that.
How do you not,
I
though?
think Dunkirk that beats out Beauty and
I
the
think,
Beast.
yeah, I think that's a clear winner.
Right. All right. Now we're going to original score. I picked Dunkirk. Hans Zimmer. David.
You didn't pick it.
I don't think you picked one.
Oh shit. I'm gonna say Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
All right.
I love it. Always
John Williams.
a good pick.
Always John
Williams.
Of course.
I picked The Shape of Water.
Alexander Desplat.
And then what did you pick, buddy?
I'm sorry. I said I picked Dunkirk by Hans Zimmer. I was incorrect. Becca picked Dunkirk, Hans Zimmer. I picked Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Come on, it's right
Carter
in
Burwell.
front of you. The
I'm
sheet
sorry.
is
I got,
right in front of you.
I got confused. All right. So
That's all
now moving to original song. Deadlock. We all picked This Is Me from Greatest Showman because I think we all felt like Greatest Showman might have gotten snubbed this year.
It did. I think it should have been at least in the contention for best picture.
Right.
And I mean, Hugh Jackman possibly for best actor. I mean,
Yeah.
there was-
Right.
I mean, I don't know. A lot of snubs this
Right.
year. But let's keep going.
All right. So now makeup and hair. David and Daniel picked Darkest Hour.
Yes, we did.
Yes,
and
sir.
me and Becca picked Wonder. So we'll see what happens. Victoria and Abdul was the other one. I have never heard of that. All right. So actually now we're moving into costumes design, and this is another one where we picked all different ones.
So what did you pick?
So I got Beauty and the Beast. I think that had a good costume design, especially the dresses, the flowing nature, the kind of 18th century stuff.
That it did.
Yeah. All right, Daniel, what you got?
I had Phantom Thread, mainly because the whole movie is built around beautiful dresses.
Right, of course. All right, David, who'd you got? Who do you have?
That is the question.
English.
Who do I have?
English here.
You have a
Yeah.
Darkest Hour.
We
I
are
chose
in
The
common.
Darkest Hour.
All right,
Wow!
sweet.
Wow! Wonderful. We can repeat things.
And then
Great.
Becca picked Shape of Water, and nobody picked Victoria and Abdul.
Has anybody seen that movie?
I didn't know that was a.
Didn't even
movie.
know that was.
I didn't know.
I've never
either.
heard of that before.
Watch that win.
Probably.
I'll feel like
No
such a
problem.
dick.
All right, so our final one that we're looking at is visual effects. I had Star Wars. Becca had Star Wars.
I as well had Star Wars.
So the odd one out.
Was me with Kong Skull Island.
Honestly, though,
All right.
visual effects for both of those were beautiful.
Like
Right.
Star Wars, you expect it, but
Mhm.
Kong Skull Island just like freaking blew it out of
well,
the
let's
water.
be real. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
There's some good, yeah.
There's some good.
War for
pictures.
the Planet of the Apes. I don't know if very many people saw it.
No.
It was a
Oh
big,
shoot, yeah.
It was a big blockbuster. But yeah.
It had some great visual.
Oh yeah,
effects.
just like what
And
was
even
the one before? it?
Blade Runner. Oh, Rise of the Planet
Yeah.
of the Apes was the one prior.
Yeah,
to that.
Blade Runner also had sweet effects.
I mean, like, so any of these movies I could see taking home that award.
I think Daniel, Beck, and I went with Star Wars just because
Star Wars. How do you know?
and I don't think we'd pick Star Wars up until that point.
No, we have to get one Star Wars
Right,
pick.
yeah.
You have to. So great nominations. So we will have the list, and then after next week, after we watch the awards, we will talk about who won, and we'll show a picture of somebody watching a terrible film. And when it's Kasich, I'm going to laugh
okay.
hysterically.
We should record the audio so anytime they're like cringing like audibly, we get that and we can put that in the podcast.
Right. All right. And so on Sunday, or probably not Sunday night, but maybe Monday or Tuesday of next week, we'll be putting up our reaction. So we'll put a camera in our room. The whole crew will be there. David, Daniel, Kasich, Becca will all be sitting there watching the Oscars, reacting to what will happen. Because I don't know, you guys might not know this. Actually, you probably don't know this, but when we watch the Oscars, we get super intense.
We do.
It's
It
like
gets
watching this
real.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, guys. I've never sat down and watched the Oscars before.
You are missing something.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Daniel and I, obviously, as you know from this podcast, Daniel and I get pretty heated about these things.
We do.
And you guys know Becca, actually. Not really.
we no, they don't really know Becky.
But Becca, she gets pretty claw and tooth when it comes to films.
Oh yeah, she does. But no, so I mean, great films though, and honestly, a lot of snubs.
Yeah, let's talk about the snubs for the next 5 minutes here.
5 minutes, we'll talk about
All
snubs.
right, so first snub that I want to talk about.
please.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No. I wanted.
First snub, I'm thinking. first snub I'm thinking about is Disaster Artist.
Oh, exactly what I was going to say.
Where was James Franco in
Exactly.
Best Actor?
And then, I mean, okay, even Disaster Artist for Best Picture?
Uh,
Okay, no.
I could see it
hear me
not
out.
being nominated.
I could see it not being nominated.
Right.
However, it wasn't at Golden Globes, wasn't it a nominee at the
It
Golden
was for
Globes?
picture. It was for musical.
Oh, yeah,
and-
actor, music.
But it won that.
It did win
So
that.
it should have been a shoe-in, right?
Yeah, if you win the Golden Globe, like, if you win a Golden Globe, you are in. I thought it should have
Yeah.
been in.
And
But
didn't
this-
James Franco win the Best Actor?
He did.
Why is he
I thought
seeing
those
that?
were two mass. It was
That's
exactly what I
ridiculous.
was going to point out.
That's ridiculous.
It was two big snubs, and even like, didn't his brother Dave Franco, wasn't he a nominee, or was it? Was
He may have been.
or was?
I can't remember. We
who-
gotta go look at our first.
I don't know. But there was a lot of snubs I felt, and then what else? What else did you think?
A lot of people thought Baby Driver should have been nominated for Best Picture.
Like me.
Thank
Yeah,
you, David.
I could see why, but why do you think it's not on the list?
Maybe just because I don't know. I don't want to say that the Academy has always not been a fan of violence because Dunkirk's in there and Tarantino films have been in there.
I think I know why.
Why?
Why do you think?
Yeah, give
I
us your
think it's
opinion.
because, in general, I don't think anyone really takes Edgar Wright as like a serious
right.
director.
You're right. Now you say
Even
that,
though
yeah.
he's so talented,
Yeah.
it's just because like he has so much fun with all the films he's made. I mean, look at him, like Scott Pilgrim,
Yeah.
Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead,
and
Baby
he
Driver.
got snubbed on Best Director too. He's not
Yeah,
nominated.
he's a fantastic director. He's easily my most probably favorite director
Going
like, of all
back to
time.
going back to your comment about like the Academy not wanting to talk like or want to nominate these action movies, do you think that is a real thing? Because like Dunkirk, it was almost historically accurate, and also
Yeah.
like Quentin Tarantino is amazing, and there's just a beauty to his movies. There is a beauty to Django, and do you think that there is actually a thing in the Academy that it's like we want to do these dramatic pieces, and there's
Yeah.
really this unwritten rule that we don't care about a movie like Baby Driver?
I think that when it comes to Best Picture, every once in a while there's an exception to the rule. But yeah, they're usually looking for more dramatic performances. But like the one example I'll give you where there was an exception to the rule was when Mad Max Fury Road got nominated for like
True.
10 things,
Yeah.
and everybody was like, "Whoa, this is an action film. Why is it nominated?" So I think there are exceptions to the rule, but those exceptions need to be spectacular.
But if you think about it, Mad Max got like all visual effects and costumes. It didn't get anything for Best Picture.
it did get nominated for Best Picture.
No, but it didn't win though.
Oh yeah.
It won all
Yeah.
like the, I'm not going to say incidental categories, but the categories they only give 30 seconds for the winner
Right.
to speak.
Right.
Every other category they give 2 minutes.
I think they should have something like with the Oscars, like best choreographed scene
Oh,
or something like that. Because like if you think like John Wick had some really
that's
cool
true.
like
Right.
shooting scenes that were all like done in like one really long take, or like there's like a bunch of like movies like Dread, like the remake
Right,
of
right.
it, or like the Raid movies. I think that should be a category because there's like every year there's like a few movies that have really good choreographed like fight scenes.
Right. And actually, this is kind of also another side note about that of what the Oscars should have. And I know, this is a shot in the dark.
No, please.
But and some other award does this. It might even be like the Sci-Fi Awards or some not very prestigious award show like MTV Awards, something to that effect.
Right.
But it actually might be Critics' Choice. I can't remember. But it's got a category for Best Ensemble Cast.
Oh,
And Best
right.
Ensemble Cast is something I've always wanted to see because there are some movies with great ensemble casts.
There are. They are.
This year,
I mean,
I'm
3
not.
billboards.
Yeah,
3 billboards
right.
would be the one in my mind.
right. And so in the past, like movies like Fury, that Brad Pitt film, that had a great ensemble cast. So yeah, so a lot of things in the past. So I feel like ensemble cast would be a good category to add. But yeah, that's just my opinion.
No, I totally agree with you on that part. I mean, so any other snubs that you guys can think about?
That you've seen or
Honestly, this is a little weird, a little unorthodox. I think John Wick,
Part 2?
Part 2.
Did that come out this year?
Didn't it come out this year or did it come out last year?
Or was that last year? I think it was last year.
Was it? Okay. Well, I can still talk about it even by last year. Last year it wasn't even nominated for anything. But, like,
John
I
Wick
can't
came
tell.
out in 2017.
Oh.
Wait, is it? Wait, really?
When?
No, it could have actually been in this Oscar,
Pretty
though.
early, I believe.
Oh, okay, then maybe not.
No, because when's the cutoff date for Oscar movies? Because Skull
February.
Island came out in, like, January last year.
Did?
The John Wick 2 came out February of 2017. so
Yeah,
it's early.
and if you think about it, I mean, like I think
February
cutoff for nominations are like the 1st of February
I don't actually know.
because there are
Because remember they threw in Star Wars like last minute last year,
Oh,
for-
you're right, they did.
so I think they can do it if they
But Star Wars
want.
came out in Christmas time.
Oh, it did. I think
Yeah.
it was before the cut.
But remember, yeah, but it wasn't even at the Golden Globes. But then they threw, and it when the Oscar noms first came out, it wasn't in there, and then they threw it in.
That's true.
Like,
I don't know. Like,
after the noms
okay,
came
I
out?
don't know if there is a cutoff. There seems to there has to be a cutoff date, right? I don't know if anybody's gonna find this interesting that's listening right now. But it's like
Yeah, we're just because
I mean, but this is a fascinating thing. Like, what movies actually do get in? Is there a cutoff? Like, what is? I don't know. I mean, like, what do you think, David? Do you think that the Academy, even though there is a cutoff date with a movie like Star Wars, if there's like a Golden Globes and they're like, oh well, they missed the cutoff date, but it's Star Wars, they'll throw them in. And a movie like John Wick 2, even though it's a very good franchise, they'll be like, really do whatever. Like we like, or we're like keep it to the rule. What do you think? What do you think the Academy will do? What's their bias?
Ooh, I don't think their bias is technically towards any big
God.
things, but there probably is definitely like some bias. Maybe not towards like Star Wars or something like that, but towards maybe like specific directors who have been highly decorated or people that like support. You know how like when you have like in politics, or like this is gonna sound weird, but like make the comparison, like in politics, like people that back specific things get a lot of like traction and they get a lot of things. It's kind of like I would imagine the same way with the Academy, like whatever support, like whatever sort of like production, or not production team, that's the word, whatever like business or like company supports the Academy the most probably gets some more leeway, I would imagine.
maybe probably you're probably right about that fact.
So there is one snub.
That we totally forgot about until I just looked it
Kasich,
up.
what is it?
We're forgetting about Wonder Woman.
Yes, we are.
That was
I agree with that not being in the Oscars, and I
Eh,
might get a lot of crap for that, but
I
You-
and for me, I wasn't as wowed for Wonder Woman, and as a lot of people were. But even then, this movie was so influential
It was.
that you would assume it would at least get a couple noms. Guardians
That's
of the
true.
Galaxy. What was that one that we didn't even know of? That movie got nominated twice, and one of the
Wonder
biggest.
Woman never got nominated.
When one of the biggest box office successes, and not only just for box office, but also for critics and fans alike, you would think that it would get something.
And I mean, Patty Jenkins did amazing directing of this. I mean, like, she didn't even get a hat tip. Did she get one at the Golden Globes?
I don't think so.
And I mean, that is really a snub because I thought this movie was brilliant.
And there's sweet ass effects. So
And
why
for-
isn't that in there?
And for this
There's some
being
cool
for
effects.
being a DC movie,
right.
I mean, this is amazing that for being DC, it was this good.
And honestly, Gal Gadot has a good performance.
She does.
And so
Gal
does
Gadot.
Chris Pine.
Chris Pine actually does do really well.
So I think both of those characters are great. So
However,
I don't know.
do they do an Oscar caliber, or are they one of those side, not as prestigious? Prestigious. Thank you. Not as prestigious as the Oscars, but do you think they're going to get one of these other awards? Do you think they're going to be nominated in a bunch of other things like the sci-fi?
Oh
awards?
yeah,
Like, of
they'll
course, like-
go for the sci-fi awards totally.
But-
Sci-fi awards literally nominates anything. No offense to the Saturn Awards, that's what it's called. Yeah, no offense to them, but
this specific like thing we're looking at does say Wonder Woman for Best Picture, and I will say like I do agree with that not getting it, just because I always felt the ending was really stupid, and
Yeah.
I thought some of the effects, they reminded me of like 300,
right.
which I mean is cool in 2003 or whenever that movie came out, but like nowadays it's kind of like, oh hey, there's another Zack Snyder looking film.
Right.
But yeah.
I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, go
David.
ahead.
Is it wrong to think that I'm a little upset that Tom Hanks didn't get nominated for Best Actor
I don't think
in the
he
post,
should've.
or do you think
He's
it's
won
just like,
so many.
or do you think it's just because it's Tom Hanks and we all love him because it's Tom Hanks?
I think
Yeah, he's America. What's his official title? America's actor or whatever.
something like that.
America's
Yeah, he's like
America's dad.
America's.
America's
He's the
Playboy.
equivalent of America's sweetheart.
America's Treasure.
That. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, right before we end this, I have one question for you guys.
What's up?
Black Panther.
Ooh,
What do
saw
you
it.
forgot
think?
about that.
What do you think it will do at the Oscars next year?
I think it'll get quite a few nominations.
Do you like? Okay,
and at least one.
but here's the thing: it's coming out now, and the Oscars are this time next year. Will anybody remember it?
I believe. I think so.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean,
The sheer impact that it's had on like the film community, like, oh yeah, it'll definitely be remembered.
I'm just curious because there's some movies that come out now that people just forget about, like
That is true.
that roll around. Next
I'm
year.
nervous though that it might even get the Wonder Woman treatment.
That's true. It'll be this
I'm scared.
amazing movie and then not get anything.
I'm
So,
scared. I'm scared.
Kasich, do you want to wrap us up?
All right. So yeah. So for this Sunday, have fun watching the Oscars. I know we will. So yeah, on next week, look for our reactions that we'll post on YouTube. It'll be a great watch. So yeah, it'll be some fun things we'll be doing, and make sure to like, share, subscribe. Thanks for tuning in for episode 6, and we'll have David O'Shields here next week.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night.
Bye.